Everyone to file into our Zoom room. We're just going to pause for a minute or two to let everybody settle in. We'll be with you in a minute. Good evening and welcome to our Zoom room as we present the Siena Shares Series event, Make a Career Out of Your Education. Siena Heights University's Director of the Higher Education Leadership Program, Dr. Patricia McDonald, and the Assistant Director of SHU's Henry Ford College Center, Jennifer Dickey, will lead tonight's presentation. Dr. McDonald has taught courses all over the world, including in Dublin, Ireland. She is a licensed professional counselor in Michigan and a member of the American Counseling Association. Her board memberships include the Michigan Red Cross, Macomb Family Services, St. John Hospital and Medical Center, and Dignity Health Hospitals. Jennifer joined Siena Heights University in 2014 at the Henry Ford College site and brings 25 years of higher education work. Please save your questions for the end of the presentation in our Q&A area. And also feel free to use and follow our chat function during the presentation. At this time, I would like to introduce our presenters, Dr. Pat McDonald and Jennifer Dickey.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As was introduced, the three of us will be working with you, and you will see our names and our contacts and ways to connect with us as needed. So we welcome you to our Masters of Arts in Higher Ed Leadership, and we'll see where we can look at our own career. One of the things we want to say about the career path, we have traditional age graduate students, generally mid-20s, and some do join us right after their bachelor's. And that serves them well. And then we also have in midlife career, the adults who desire to take their certification and professional skill sets and teach them to younger people coming into the profession. And this is a new way in society for how people are looking to further their career and share what they know with others. And for those who have sometimes 20 years or more in their career skill sets, their certification, their technical skills, they desire to take their backgrounds and share them with people who will be coming up into the careers to kind of replace them at times. And sometimes people with 20, 30 years, they don't want to give up their job, but they know they have some time to pass on all of their knowledge. And it's mentoring, it's helping people look at how they can move on in their career. So we have 3 different age groups, and that's something to keep in mind. Okay. I want to introduce you to Lonnie Pugh, who graduated with his higher ed master's in leadership. And Lonnie is now at Michigan State. And one of the things Lonnie says is he takes his knowledge, and it's much, much more than just a degree, but he's helping students in multiple ways in their life as they go on, and in a sense, as he says so well, positioning them to live and be successful in a holistic way. So we're real proud of Lonnie. Just down the road from where we are in Adrian, and he's moving along in his career, doing a great job. And this is Linda Stewart, who got all 3 of her degrees from Siena, an associate's, bachelor's, and her master's. And Linda has a very diverse background in her professional career. And she realizes that in looking at, she does facilitation, she does group interaction. She's currently a mental health counselor in the Lincoln Behavioral Services in the metropolitan Detroit area. And Linda and I talk frequently, and she talks about all that she learns and wanting to pass it on. And she even shares it with some of her adult children of help the content helps her help them. And Linda's a very industrial individual and really has taken her skill sets and maximized all those she interacts with. This is the third of our 5 candidates we wanted to just show you. Linda Toomey came to us from the healthcare field, and she took her knowledge and degree, and as a result of it, as it says there, she's been invited to the New York massage therapy board as a member. And in talking with Linda, Linda was saying to me after she graduated that she and her husband are going to be using her higher education as well as what she will do in the healthcare field. And she will be also teaching in the New York environment in the age group of the people in College of Professional Studies getting their master's degree. And again, she brings a wealth of knowledge to pass on. So Linda is just an exciting person in there in New York and sharing her Siena skills. And our next candidate, this is Susie Pauly Smith. And Susie is a mother of 4 boys, like between the ages of 19 and 26. So she was telling me as she was getting her degree, she is now the financial aid director at Lawrence Institute of Technology. And she was telling me how much the information that she learned in our master's in higher ed is helping her in what she's doing in management, leadership, and decision making. And she's just a very, very exciting individual. And I visited Susie Pauly Smith in her office at Lawrence Institute. And she had all of her books from all of her classes sitting on her bookshelf. And she said to me, Pat, this content was not just a degree. This content is our life issues. And she uses them in multiple ways. And she is enriching so many other people as they come through the programs there at her institution. And she's just very excited, full of energy. And so Susie Pauly Smith was our outstanding student in higher education when she graduated. And our other person, this is Patricia Robinson, who's a dental hygienist. And when she came a few years back wondering what she could do, and she's been a dental hygienist for several years, probably close to more than 20. And she wanted to be able to teach her dental hygienist skill sets to those up and coming in the field. And ironically, in that same cohort, there were 3 students who were dental hygienists, and they formed a team among themselves, interacting, talking, doing team projects. So Patricia now is, besides her current job as a hygienist, she is also doing part-time adjunct instruction as a professor at Jackson College. And she's thrilled with all that she's been able to do in moving her career forward. So we just wanted you to see a few of these mid-career people. Lonnie went right to us, came to us from his undergrad. So the success of what people want to do in their careers is up to them. So we're very, very proud of our students. We're very proud of how they will impact the world for human betterment. So let's move on very briefly. And just to show you the core skills and classes that position you in this program, the top 6 are foundational for all our masters in leadership. And you can see that those skill sets are used in whatever profession you are in. And then the lower 6 courses are those areas that specifically further along our aspect of understanding higher education. And we know in this country, education, when the country was founded when it was in the late 1700s, the only people that could go to higher education were white men. And the focus was at that era and that time to prepare for the ministry and to prepare to be in charge of things. And as we look at the development of history of education, we see the 7 sister colleges that began and were founded in the late 1800s. And our very own Siena Heights University was founded in 1919 as a school for women. And then we have other schools such as Morehouse for Black colleges. We have Moline, Black Hawk College in Moline, Illinois, which was for the Native Americans. So when we look at higher education, it's real important to look what got us to this point and all the steps of people who have moved through their lives and their career and brought things to new levels. So we are passing these abilities on to our students so that they then can take their understanding and they're change agents in society. And that's very, very exciting when we see how much they go and grow. And many of our students have really advanced their own career and will continue to do so by taking their knowledge base, understanding higher education leadership curriculum, and then seeing what they can do when and where, and be there for all people, always, and in all ways. So Jennifer, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to briefly go over the admission requirements. So we require a completed online application, which we can help you with, a current resume, an application essay, and all of your post-secondary transcripts. If you did graduate from Siena Heights University, you would not need to provide the transcripts to us. A criminal conviction disclosure form. We do require a minimum of a 3.0 GPA, but we can review your application for conditional admission if your GPA is under a 3.0. And we do not require a GRE or a GMAT. Okay, so I can assist with admissions questions, and Betsy Brooks is joining us tonight as well. She is also someone that you would come in contact with. And we have our, I apologize, my dog just decided to come and wander. I'm sorry if I'm looking distracted. We have our contact information on the next slide, and we would encourage you to reach out to us. I can move the slide forward. One moment. There we go. Betsy, do you have anything that you would like to add to those requirements, or?
No, I really can't think of anything. We've pared the application documents down to what we really feel gives us good information about you. So we're looking at your resume. What have you done? What are you doing? What skill sets are you bringing with you to the program? The conviction disclosure form is something we require every single applicant to the graduate college, regardless of program. Doesn't mean if you had trouble in a prior life that it's going to negate your ability to come into the program. It's just something we feel it's, if one program has to do it, we're asking every program to submit that document. And then the other thing I just want to say is about the personal statement. We do give you the directions, right, to complete the 500-word personal statement. In it, you're going to be telling us why you want to enter the particular program, perhaps higher education leadership. So what's your motivation for applying to the higher ed program? And why did you pick Siena Heights as the school you wish to attend? And we used the personal statement primarily for two reasons. One of it is, obviously, we're going to be using it to learn about you, learn about your motivation for coming into the program and why you picked us. But the other thing we're going to use it for is to assess your writing, to make sure you're ready for graduate college. Most students are. But on occasion, if we have a student that everything else looks terrific, and I have turned into a frog, I apologize. If everything else looks terrific, but we just want to strengthen your writing skills a little bit, we have a couple short courses you can take prior to starting the degree plan so that we're setting you off on best foot forward for succeeding in grad school. And we do accept students winter, summer, fall. So our students go year round. And I don't know if it was mentioned yet, but this program is offered totally online. I think that's everything I want to say.
Thanks, Betsy. And we do, I believe you just mentioned this, Betsy, but if I think I may have missed it. Classes are 7 weeks, so our semester has 2 terms. So you could potentially start in the middle of the semester if you needed to. So we start in January and then again in March. So.
And another important thing is there is a week off between each 7-week class. So they have a week.
And paying for graduate college now, you can use unsubsidized federal Stafford loans. That's a way probably 99.9% of our students pay for their education. Mm-hmm. There are a number of resources available online for smaller size grants or scholarships. A lot of employers now are offering tuition remission benefits for their employees. And we have payment plans. So there's lots of different ways to help pay for your education.
Right.
Before I give it back to Sister Pat to take questions, just really quickly in the chat to everyone, Doug has provided the start.sienaheights.edu. You can go to that link for more information and to start the application. So, Sister Pat, would you like to take any questions?
Certainly, I am open to elaborate on people's needs, interests, further knowledge.
Okay, Sister Pat, this is Doug. I'm back. I'm scouring here the Q&A and the chat. We're a little shy right now, so I guess I'm going to kick off a question.
Okay.
You know, obviously, you've taught in this program for many years. Can you talk a little bit about maybe a particular class that you teach and what it, you know, just give us an example of one of the classes that you teach and what are some of the you know, the course information and what you kind of go through in one of those classes.
Thank you for the question, Doug. And I'm going to combine 2 of the classes. One is the history of higher education, which I teach, and also student development theory. And the 2 of them, when you look at it, it's the development and the societal changes which are impacting people's access to learning. And when over time, as I said earlier, education into the 1700s was only for white males in this country. And in some countries, women still cannot go to school. Even in 2020, they are restricted. Some girls, they stop school in 8th grade. But one of the things we look at is societal changes in various cultures that need to and want to have access. And we say in this country, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and justice for all. And if all are not included, we do not have justice. And so when we look at student development theory, we go over very many aspects of how society has changed and has opened up the access to expand learning and knowledge and access to information for all people, all cultures. And even our mission statement talks about respecting the dignity of all. That's everyone. That's all cultures, all theologies. So looking at these two, the students really grow because we all come out of our reality and our mental box of life and our experiences. And students write on these topics, they give presentations, and they share with one another their learning curve. So I hope that's helpful, Doug, and directs the information you wanted to have come forth.
Sure does, and actually gives me a little bit of a follow-up question while we're still kind of trying to draw out any questions from our audience tonight.
Okay.
You know, the students that you pointed out, the former students, I should say, you know, it kind of touches on that diverse background, and as one of our people who are with us tonight pointed out, you know, this is a leadership degree, not only a degree for teaching faculty. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Thank you. Yes, and that comment did come through. It is a leadership degree, and as people are looking forward to enhancing their life sets and with their skill sets and professional background, people want to take what they have done and then evolve it into something in a new and diverse and a different way where they can lead others to new thinking, new ways of being. And one of our just very recent grads is a commander of a naval ship in San Diego. And her goal, that was Jennifer, Germany, and her goal is to get this degree because she wants to lead younger naval career personnel into the field of leading them so that they can better their environment and their situation. So leading can evolve in multiple ways. And that's why it's so exciting to work with people who are excited about learning. And that's what we do for them. We help them lay the foundation and then help them walk into their future in new and creative and entrepreneurial leadership endeavors.
Doug, if I
great.
could just add on to Sister Pat, because
Sure.
I've recruited so many students into this program and have worked with so many. The other piece that I always tell people when I'm talking to them is, especially the traditional students, when I visit them in their classroom before they're finishing up their undergraduate degree and going to graduate school, is so often they've just grown so much and in their undergraduate program and have truly loved, come to love the higher ed environment. And this degree would help them take that love and put it to work in higher ed, whether they want to be a recruiter or advisor like Jennifer and myself, or if they want to look in there's so much administrative positions that help support the students. There's Res Life, there's student support services, there's academic advising. There are so many various positions available in higher ed. And I have had a lot of students go through it so they can stay in higher ed once they graduate. So that's another way I've seen the degree used by many, many people.
Thank you, Betsy. That adds a lot to what we're all about. Appreciate that perspective.
Thank you, Betsy and Sister Pat. One thing I want to point out, it's not necessarily a question, but kind of make a comment. I guess I'll do a little bit of a representation of our career services office. You know, because of all the opportunities that are in higher ed, you know, our career services office is there to help students and hopefully our graduates then find their career path after their time at Siena. And that goes for not just their time as a student at Siena, but as alums. You know, you've got pretty much a lifetime membership to those services. So that's another advantage I think Siena Heights really offers, is that career services help. And then obviously we're in the higher ed business and we have some higher ed connections in the higher ed business. And that definitely, I wanted to point that out is just another thing, another benefit of our program. So I'm still scouring for questions here. I'm not seeing any. So I guess unless somebody does have a question to bring forward, just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I'll pause one more time just in case somebody wants to get in a last second question. Okay, last call. All right. Again, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And if you have questions or want more information, I would really recommend going to start.sienaheights.edu, get the process started. As Betsy said, we're enrolling pretty much all year round. It can get you started. Even if you don't want to start right now, we can start you whenever you're ready. So again, thank you for joining us tonight, and hopefully we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Doug.